The Empire Windrush brings to Britain 500 Jamaicans, citizens of the British Empire coming to the mother country with good intent.
The passengers who came to seek their fortunes. Pioneers who helped rebuild Britain.
Remember, England was just after the war. Everything was dull and grey. And we came, and by the grace of God, England and Britain has been rebuilt.
You should always get the other kind.
Post-war Britain was short of money, short of food, and short of labour. The country needed urgent reconstruction, so the government turned to an obvious source of workers. Between 1939 and 1945, thousands of Caribbean men and women joined the armed forces, displaying bravery and heroism. Once the fighting was over, many, like Sam King, were keen to find a home and a job in the UK.
Yes, I was in the war, fighting for king and country in 1944. I wanted to stay, but they said, no, you're from the colony of Jamaica, you have to go back. I was disappointed.
But that disappointment soon turned to hope. By the summer of 1948, Britain was inviting the people of the Caribbean to come and make new lives here. It even supplied the transport, an ex-troop ship called the Empire Windrush. Sam remembers getting the news that there was room on board.
About 2 weeks before the Windrush came to Jamaica, there was an ad in the Daily Gleaner that the troop ship Empire Windrush will be leaving Jamaica for England and £28.10, and if you want to go, you must book now. Immediately I went to Kingston. I'm from Portland, the eastern part, and booked my passage.
It was a high price for the potential passengers, but for some, like Alford Gardner, it was definitely worth paying.
We are made to understand that England was a rich place where there was a lot of money to be made. That's the impression you got as a boy growing up.
Young single men made up the bulk of passengers, but families also signed up for the transatlantic journey. The Windrush set sail on the 24th of May with 492 passengers on board. They were cramped and uncomfortable. Peter Deelan worked as a baker on board the ship.
A lot of the passengers all didn't have much to do, so they used to really enjoy a drink and a sing and a dance and that sort of thing.
Some men were playing dominoes and cards, a bit of gambling to occupy their time. I never gambled. Because as a Christian, you shouldn't go down that line. They didn't have much money. In the end, some didn't have any money coming off. We had to borrow it from their friends.
There were no problems. It's all right. I enjoyed it. Well, see, the thing is, I mean, I can enjoy myself anywhere and anytime.
As the ship drew closer to docking, concern in Britain began to grow. Newspapers questioned whether the country could cope with a sudden influx of immigrants. Debates were held in Parliament. News soon reached those on board.
Just before we came up the Thames, when the West Indians got wind of what was going on, commentators were probably saying that the ship may be turned back.
In the event, there were no obstacles to the ship, and on the 22nd of June, it was allowed to dock at Tilbury.
The Empire Windrush brings to Britain 500 Jamaicans, citizens of the British Empire coming to the mother country with good intent.
The West Indians who disembarked that day were at the start of a journey that would not only change their lives, but British society as a whole. Over the next few decades, more than 300,000 of their compatriots would follow those first Windrush passengers across the Atlantic.
Years ago in Britain, people could not meet a colored person upon the street. The English people were surprised to see an African or even a West Indian. It's not amazing again for anyone, since this great invasion is on. With all the happy climates they are displeased, they're making race from the colonies.